Welcome to the project of Sonification study of fantasy football draft. This is a course project of CS 8803 in Sonification Lab by KJ Huang. The video will be divided into 4 parts, including the background of the project, the website of the draft game, the analysis of the sonification effects, and the design of testing. Here comes the background of the project. The primary goal of this project is to find related sonification effects for various events and actions for a website game called Fantasy Football Draft, in which player can play as a coach of a virtual football team and he can select his team members so as to play against other coaches. The key problem is to establish an appropriate mapping between the sound and the action. An example of possible action is successfully selecting a player. To identify what kind of sonification effect is needed, the researcher first conducts a task flow analysis of the current website. As you can see, the main page of the website can be divided into 4 tables. The queue table where the coach waits for their turn, the team table showing your current team members, the selected players showing all the players that have been selected by all the coaches, and the player pool table. The task flow analysis shows the 3 major interactions between the user and the website, which are waiting for a turn, scan through the player pool, and finally pick the player you want. The whole process runs in cycle. For each step, possible raw sonifications are identified. Here are some samples, reminding some to notify you about your turn. Switch between items and tables. Time effect. Success and failure of selecting a player. If we look at the project in a big picture, this sonification effect can actually have a wider, more general application. They can be applied to other table-based systems so as to remind the user about the current state of the system. After collecting all the sonification effect, analysis is run so as to understand what kind of effect can better map with the action. The question starts with how acoustic perception takes on conceptual representation. Should we use more analogic sound, such as using a natural clock ticking sound for time effect, or more symbolic sound, like a sequence of notes with increasing frequency to simulate a nervous environment? Another example is the sound for selecting an item. The first sound used 2 same notes to mimic the double-click effect of a mouse, while the second one used 2 different notes to mimic a tick-like shape. To test which sonification effect is more appropriate for the action, a subjective test should be carried out, and here is the plan. Basically, participants will be shown to a certain action illustrated by words and pictures, and they will be provided with several sound samples, in which they should choose the most appropriate one to match the action. The test has been approved by the IRB, and the researcher has developed the test interface using JavaFX. Here is the demo of the test interface. When logged in the system, participant can read through the instruction of the test and then put in his unique idea before starting the test. The test interface consists of 3 parts. The description area on the left, showing the title and the description of the action. An animated picture is also shown to give user an intuitive idea about the event. The right side is the sound sample, where user can click on them to listen to the sound, and choose the most appropriate one by clicking the radio button. The bottom part is the commands area, where user can leave any comments they want. When user finishes the current task, they can click the next button to go to the next test and perform the same action on it. Notice that user can always go back to the previous task to modify his selection and commands. The history of the input will be recorded so that they don't need to start over it again. When all the tasks are finished, they will go to the Submit page to submit the test result. Then a test file will be generated for this participant. In the test file, you can see clearly about the participant's idea and his choice and commands. It's highly readable for general people. In the bottom of the test file, there is a special test written in a simpler form so that it can be easily interpreted by a computer program, so as to export the result into an Excel file to do the statistic analysis. The complete version of the testing, including all the sonification effects and the corresponding events, have been coded and uploaded to the GitHub website. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.